Well, I was trying to think about interesting ways to cook chicken. All right, shall we go?
I'm ready.
Great. So we're gonna make chicken toast, and I wanna use up, we're buying whole chickens and then we're cooking different parts of them different ways. And I've got a crown here, and what I always do is you roast it or you take it off the crown and you cook it in a pan, and that is delicious, and we are gonna do that. But I need another way to cook this. And I thought, what's an interesting way to cook a nice lean protein in a slightly different way? It's almost kind of like a beer snack, or it's not, you know, it's not a full meal, but it's interesting, and it's something that I think would be really great to watch. And I've talked for about 5 minutes straight now. So with that in mind, we're gonna turn this chicken crown into chicken toast. Like prawn toast, but we're gonna use chicken. What's similar between a prawn and a piece of chicken breast? Texturally, they're not a million miles away, and they're both quite lean. So I thought, why not give it a go? Why not give this madcap idea a go with some cheap white bread and some lovely chicken, and we're gonna add the same kind of stuff, the same, you know, ballpark stuff that you do to prawn toast, and we're gonna fry it and see what happens. So we've got the crown, we use the legs for rice. What we're gonna do is take the breast off and put it in the blender. Do I wanna add the skin? Is a bit of fat in there quite nice? No, I'm not gonna add the skin, because you don't put prawn skin in a prawn toast, do you? Oh, should I put the skin in? I'm grappling with this, I'm grappling. I'll be honest with you, I've never made this before, so we're going at it together, first time, okay? Trim away to get the maximum yield from your breast. When you're taking it off the crown, you always want to take out the wishbone and just come down either side. Then you can hook your finger behind it like that, and then knife in, straight down like that, through the bottom, because there's a piece of cartilage here that connects the two, and you can just cut right through that. There it comes. It's just a case of taking the breast off the crown. So nice sharp knife, the keel bone or the breastbone runs down here. I'm probably going to show you how to do this 6 times over the next few videos, but never too many times. So knife nice and snug to the bone. So bring your knife down. You can see that there's bone. My knife's super close, and you just want to, your nice long strokes. You can just let the breast kind of fall away. This, you know, if you don't get it all off in one go for this, it doesn't really matter too much, because we're gonna blend it anyway. But the goal is to leave, like, look, you can see there's like no meat left on there. There's a little bit there, but who cares? And then once you've got this far, you can just pull, cut. There you go. 1 chicken breast. Same on the other side. In the blender, well, it's not really a blender, this is a food processor, so I'm just gonna cut these, give it a little head start, and just cube these chicken breasts. Straight in. 2. Now we've got to add some flavor. Flavor-wise, we're gonna add some garlic. That is all I need. I've got a couple of spring onions, and I'm gonna finely chop. If I drop this whole garlic clove into there, it will chop, but I'm not entirely sure. I know I want this to be like a puree throughout this mixture. So what I'm gonna do is grate this in, finally grate it on a microplane. You just reduce the risk of like getting a huge, because the last thing you want is you're sitting eating your chicken toast and you get a huge lump of garlic because the blade missed it. And I know if I kind of approximate the texture, you know, I don't have to be bang on. Approximate the texture that I want at the other end of the blend. Then, you know, you reduce your risk of effing it up, basically. I'm gonna add a little stealth spring onion in there. I'm gonna add the stems of this coriander. I really love coriander stems. They are full of flavor. And if I add all of the leaves, the mix is gonna go really green, so I don't really want that. But I'm gonna chop these kind of like chives. They had a really nice kind of fresh, zippy fragrance, which is, you know, and it's not oniony, because at the moment I'm adding, you know, onion, garlic, spring onion, garlic. So this is gonna be grated. Some of this massive knob of ginger. Seen this before? Everyone and their nan has seen this. Peeling ginger with a spoon. But it does work really well. I used to not peel my ginger. Do you peel your ginger?
Yeah.
Now I feel like, I feel like I used to see people be like, nah, you don't need to peel it, but then I changed my mind. I saw too many chefs that I rate peeling their ginger. Anyway, I'm probably gonna grate about that much off this. Cool. So that's my garlic and ginger. Oopsie. Garlic and ginger. And then all the green stuff. So add a little soy. This is light soy sauce. We go for 1 spoon. A little bit of white pepper. A little tiny bit. Straight in there. Another little guy of MSG. Half a teaspoon of sugar to bind this all together. So 1 egg white. So add, just cut that off there. Pinch of salt. Blend this until it's very smooth. You're basically making kind of like a meatball. See that? Where it like runs around. Whoa. We're gonna add a little sesame oil. Just a bit of that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, done. Beautiful. And what you get is this kind of like really smooth, bouncy chicken meatball, essentially. And what we're gonna do is put this on some toast and fry it. But if you blend prawns, that is exactly what it looks like. Next step is we need some white bread. This is like cheap white bread. I've never had a prawn toast that wasn't on this. So to differentiate our chicken toast from prawn toast, we're gonna be fancy and cut it into circles. And it's just a case of shape that for stock. No, blend that for breadcrumbs. Blend that for breadcrumbs and we'll use that later in the series. We're going to make a nice mixture of sesame seeds. This is quite a useful little tool. If you haven't got one, this is a little palette knife. You can use a spoon. Take some of your chicken mixture, and what we're gonna do is just spread it over our bread right to the edge. And what I'm gonna try and do is make a nice little dome in the middle so we get this kind of juicy chicken on the top. And what you wanna do, if you can, is avoid having any air gaps between the bread and the chicken. So if you know, I've done a nice layer there, and what I'm actually gonna do is add a bit more to the middle. So the outside is gonna get really crispy, and I wanna cook it so the middle is really juicy and like a really nicely cooked chicken breast. Because if it's all one thickness and it's all one texture, whereas we've got the opportunity here to cook the chicken in the middle really nicely. So once you've got to this point, you wanna just go straight into the sesame. Roll it around and just coat the chicken in sesame seeds. And then that guy is ready for the fryer. So I'm gonna put these in the fridge for 10 minutes. So the toasts have rested and I've got a pound of oil here and I want it to be about 170. And it's at 160, so give me a minute. Oil's hot. This is gonna go in. I'm gonna put it on my spatter so it doesn't stick. Good tip. So we're gonna go in toast side down first. Anyway, should we put another one in? Yeah. The idea is you want to cook them until they're nice and crispy and golden brown. I feel like prawn toasts are usually kind of greasy, which I don't know whether I love, but I mean I do like it because they are tasty, but I think the idea is with this, it would be nice if it wasn't quite as greasy. So I think we're frying them at a slightly higher temperature. And I don't want the chicken to be like mega cooked. I want it to be like cooked, obviously, because it needs to be safe, but nice and juicy in the middle. So this has been cooking for maybe 1.5 minutes and it's already starting to color on the bottom. You see that? It's starting to go nice and golden. So I'm gonna give them a flip. And now we're chicken side down. And until once the sesame seeds are golden brown, we'll lift them out. And we can, if you're really anxious about the cook, you can get one of these, stick it in and you're looking for 70 degrees for cooked chicken. This is the Thermopen, digital thermometer. Very useful tool. Do you know what, Roll? I think these might be really tasty. Ooh, yeah. So it's kind of bouncy if I touch it. It's got a good bounce on it, which means the protein is set and firmed up, which means it's cooked. So that's gonna come out. You can hear how crispy it is. It's gonna go onto this wrap and just rest while I fry the rest. Onto a plate. I'm quite pleased with how they turned out, actually. I think they're gonna be rather good. So they're gonna go 3 on a plate. We made 5, but we've already eaten 1. 3 of those, a little lime wedge. And then, sweet chili would be really good with this. Soy, like a soy vinegar dipping sauce would be really good with this. This is what I have. This is sriracha. You know it well, I'm sure. So we're just gonna do a nice blob of that. Let's cut one in half and see how we did. Whoa. That, can you see that? It is juicy. See that? You can see the coriander stems in there, see the spring onion. We've got this really crispy piece of bread just at the bottom. Those are sesame seeds. I'd say that is a success. Let's have a taste. So we'll do a little bit of lime. Oh boy. Dip it in the sauce. Because I just can't believe how juicy it is. I love it. It's really tasty. Spring onion, garlic, ginger. This is a belter. You gotta make this one. Good beer snack. Little chicken toast.